rxmuscle.com. In the Iron Asylum with Brad Dingle. We are here 4 weeks out from the 2013 NPC USA Championships. We're doing a little chest training here in Northern California. Welcome, Brad.
Thanks, Dave, for having me.
Well, Brad, Matt Stevenson, your trainer, sent me your video. Him and I correspond back and forth a lot, and we go over things and we talk about, people and competitors. And I was very impressed. You're only 21 years of age. You're going to be doing the NPC USA, first pro qualifier. You've only competed 4 times. A lot of people might not know who you are. Give me a little background on information, how you got into training. I'm sure you did it at a young age, and what made you decide to want to get on stage that first time?
Ever since I was a little kid, I always watched, these superhero TV shows, and I always wanted to look like a superhero, and when I was young, around like 6th or 7th grade, I used to put books in my backpack and just do bicep curls with my backpack. And I also had a couple uncles that were bodybuilders, so I always looked up to them and always wanted to be like them and look like them. And I started weight training around high school. I was in weight training class, and I was training, eating a lot. I was counting my protein, but I was just eating a lot of protein and just eating a whole bunch of food on top of that. My uncle told me to be on a seafood diet. If you seafood, eat it. Yeah.
Well, it worked for you because at a young age, only in your teens, you were able to win several teen titles in the Northern California area. That must have given you a lot of confidence. I'm sure it must have also made you kind of fall in love with the sport too.
Oh yes. Definitely. After that first show, it just lights a fire under you, and you just want to keep going and competing and winning and making progress and getting bigger and more shredded always.
Did the weight come easily to you? Are you one of these guys that puts mass on easily, or was it a struggle to gain the weight?
It wasn't much of a struggle to gain the weight. I put on muscle fairly easily, but I also can put on fat easily too. So I need to diet a little harder, even in my off season.
Gotcha.
Let's see. My this past off season, I was a lightweight my last shows during the Contra Costa, the Cal, but I actually put on about 25 pounds of show weight. I mean, I'm going to be a middleweight this show at the USA, and I came from a lightweight. I weighed in last year at 150. And hopefully weighing around the 170 to 175 range around this show. That's
tremendous gains. To jump that weight class from lightweight to middleweight, even from welter to middle, is a very big jump, and a lot of people have trouble getting into that, and you seem to have done it with no problem in less than a year. What do you attribute that to? Have you just kind of hit your growth spurt, or are you just more focused at this point in time?
I believe so. I mean, I just turned 21. I mean, that might attribute some to my young age, but I believe it's the diet. Diet was key, and we also believe a lot of what you believe in, Dave, is the high fats, high proteins. When I was younger, I actually kind of discovered that high fats works for me well, because I was reading something online, and it was saying, add olive oil to your diet. I was adding 2 tablespoons of olive oil to a shot of orange juice 3 times a day, and I started doing that, and I started gaining weight. And that was before I even knew anything about nutrition. I was doing olive oil shots, and that upped my fat intake, and I started building more muscle and getting stronger. So, diet was always key.
Well, it's interesting that you say that, because a lot of people, especially guys that seem to be carb sensitive, and you seem to be one of those guys, always do better with higher fats. It's a mistake sometimes when guys that are carb sensitive eliminate the carbs, but they don't replace it with the fats, and then what happens is they tend not to grow, or they tend to lose muscle. So you obviously by luck, fell into it, but you obviously found out what works for your body and what doesn't. And I think that's really important. I think a lot of people don't realize that you got to follow and have an instinctual approach to bodybuilding, because sometimes people try to do what other people do and it just doesn't work. And once again, having a coach that you trust, and you have one of those, is important, but also following your instincts is important too. I'm
Exactly.
watching you do some bench pressing here with the dumbbells. And, once you took your clothes off, you look like a different person. With clothes on, you don't look that big, but you really do appear larger. How tall are you?
I'm about 5'6.5".
And
Yes.
and you're going to weigh about, what, 170 on stage, 176?
Yeah, we're aiming around the middleweight rep range. I mean, weight range, 170 to 175, 176. Yes.
Would you like to see yourself move up to the light heavyweight division eventually, seeing that you're so young at this point?
Yes, I would, most definitely. My coach Matt Stevenson actually said, after the show, I probably will never be a middleweight again. I just put on that much size, and we're actually trying to suck down to middleweights right now. I'm still hovering around the 180, 184 range right now. With 4 weeks left, we'll definitely do it again, bring in that conditioning.
Now you work during the day at Max Muscle, and
Yes.
it's a good job for a bodybuilder to have, obviously. But
Yeah.
do you find it's hard sometimes, when you're dieting and you're starving, to be in a store with all the supplements and all the foods around you and people coming in and talking about bodybuilding, or do you find that that's relaxing for you?
It's relaxing to me. I like to talk about that kind of stuff anyways, but I'm in diet mode, so it doesn't really matter. It's just you stick to your diet, eat your food, and that's that. Yeah.
That's okay. Like I said, I always, when I was into bodybuilding competition, obviously, it is cool kind of to talk about it. And I know what you tend to do is you tend to look at all the stuff you can't eat, and you're like, I can't wait I can eat that, and then the show comes and it's over, and you don't even care anymore, pretty much.
Oh right, yeah, right. Well, actually, right now we're still doing one cheat meal every Saturday night.
You got something to look for.
Yes, it's actually either my second to last meal or my last meal. But that's how me stay sane. And that's something for me to work for at the end of the week. I'm not gonna eat this during the week, but at the end of the week, I'm gonna have that one meal that I want.
Right.
And I earn it at the end of the week.
At 21 years of age, a lot of guys are not, lack confidence. They lack maturity. Sometimes it seems like you have a pretty good outlook on what you're doing. Do you feel intimidated at all? Do you feel a little nervous going into the USA, seeing that it's such a big show and this is really your first time there?
Yes, I don't know what to expect. I've never done a national show before, but I have a lot of support, with me, and I've been hearing real good things. Everybody's giving me confidence, but I'm just gonna do my best and see how I stack up against those guys. But I'm not slowing down.
As far as cardio goes at this point, what have you been doing, and how much do you find that you need to do to get your body into the shape that you really need to?
We've been sticking to low intensity cardio. Right now I choose to do it before breakfast. And we've moved up. We started around 20 minutes, and about now during prep we're doing about 50 minutes a day. And my coach says, if I feel good after my workout, in the afternoon, if I want to do an extra 20, 30, that's fine. But he doesn't want me to overdo it because he doesn't want me to end up losing muscle because of it.
Absolutely. That's
Yes.
Obviously very important. What about posing? I know young guys tend to not like to pose, and having only competed a couple times in the last 2 years or so, or 3 years or so, that you really don't have that much stage experience. Have you been setting aside time to get up there and practice and go through the mandatories?
Oh yes, my coach Matt Stevenson, although he's never competed before, he studied the sport for a very long time, and he taught me how to pose, and I can say I have no problem, hitting poses, hitting transitions between poses. The only thing we're working on now is just conditioning and holding the poses and making sure I'm not struggling to hold them, especially when we're going to be on stage in about 4 weeks.
If we had to fantasize into the future a little bit and give you your pro card, where do you see yourself fitting in the pro ranks? Would you see yourself as a 212 guy, or do you want to see yourself in the open ranks at some point?
If I ever got my pro card, I think realistically I would be a good 212. But you always want to get bigger. You're never satisfied. If I were to pro, I think I would start at the 212s. But if I have the potential to move up and my genetics, stack well against those other pros, definitely move up, keep growing. That's always the goal.
Absolutely. What kind of supplements do you use in your prep? I mean, a lot of guys incorporate more supplements as they're getting ready for a show. Is that the same with you? And if so, which ones do you tend to favor?
I mean, I always stick to my essential fatty acids, I stick to the basics. I mean, during prep, I'm still doing about, two to three shakes a day. I take my multivitamin, my fish oil, my evening primrose oil for the, omega-6, omega-3s. I like to take, arginine for the pump and creatine still, just pretty much the basics. I don't really do anything crazy. But mostly the supplements I love to take is for the pump. I like the arginine, the agmatine, the citrulline malate. I train for that pump always.
Sure. Do you notice a difference when you're dieting and you take that you still get the pump?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Especially on the day that that I'm eating a higher carbohydrate intake, and I feel like they just give me that better edge in the gym. Helps me just get that pump and get that muscle fullness and driving the blood into the muscle, just helping me stretch the muscle.
What would you say is your best body part if you had to pick one?
My best body part is my legs, most definitely. I mean, I get, I don't know, I just been genetically gifted with good legs. I can do whatever for legs, and they'll grow like weeds,
Well, you got a pretty good set of pecs on you, too, so just watching, they're all pumped up from this workout, and I suspect, looking at your physique and watching your pose here at the end of this video, you're going to do very well at your debut at the USA Championships. Good luck. For now, though, we're out of